So then we walk into further into our storytelling arena, and you will see all we just really have are some picture frames that allow us to tell the story. Can you start the Erla? Can you start the music box just a little bit? To see that's a 100-year-old music box, and start the music. I mean, just crank it forward just a little bit, and again. Oh, we'll come back to that. Anyway, we are telling here the story of Robert Turner and Thornton Chase, and share the story that at the age of 17, he was a young officer in charge of the colored troops. And the story of, oh, there you go, the story of Hyde Dunn, who lived at 815 Pike Street in Seattle when he became a Baha'i. And of course was raised in England, and his father was a pharmacist and was a good friend of Charles Dickens and was raised on his lap. Or we have the wonderful pictures of course, Howard Colby Ives, and go on to share the story of Phoebe Hearst. We talk about The Guardian and have this wonderful signed copy of Priceless Pearl by Ruhir Khanum, and a hand-sewn pouch that was sewn by the Greatest Holy Leaf, gifted to Catherine Norris, that contained the dust of Sheikh Tabarsi that we just showed you a minute ago. And just showing a few close-ups of the display, talking about Muniri Hanum, Abdu'l-Baha's wife, some of our early heroes and heroines, and Abdu'l-Baha's knighting, and Sarah Farmer, and of course Abdu'l-Baha's funeral procession. So let me just walk around a little bit more. We love to share the story of Martha Root, and you'll notice in the front we have some dust from her grave, and actually a copy of her teaching materials that she carried with her during her travels. We are very delighted that we also have some Navajo prayers and share the story of Jim Loft when he was just a young boy and sat on a fence and saw the train go by in 1912 and saw Abdu'l-Baha at the back of the caboose beckoning him on, and he fell off the fence and he ran after him. And it wasn't until many years later, when he went to a fireside in Detroit, he realized that it was Abdu'l-Baha whom he had met and seen, even though it was just from a distance, became a Baha'i instantly, and it's just a wonderful story that we love to share. Some of our local believers here, such as Laurel Luther, who had homesteaded up in Omak and took a train, very difficult in 1912, to meet with Abdu'l-Baha, who was supposed to come to Seattle, but because the passing of Thornton Chase, he had to go to LA, and Seattle was canceled. But instead we were very fortunate because we received a tablet from Abdu'l-Baha inspiring the Friends in Seattle. And it is the time for us to share the local stories. So there's really I'm just sort of glancing around. You can see our museum is not very big. In fact, it is quite small, but the stories are endless, and we feel that with a little bit of TLC and passion and love for history, that almost any community around the world can maybe attempt to do something just like this. Allahu Akbar.